level FDP on writing PhD thesis. To have a quick recap of whatever we did yesterday, this is me, and whatever we did, like what is a thesis, how it is to be written, the manuscript, what should be the length, language, purpose, and the layout of thesis we have discussed yesterday. And this research has got preliminary section where we have discussed the essential constituents as well as the additional constituents, what the title page should contain, what are the certificates or the table of contents should be attached, the acknowledgement. We have also discussed regarding the introduction sections and the subsections to be presented in the introduction part, like the background information is very much necessary, the present study regarding the problem definition, objectives, conceptual framework, and the meanings and supportive ideas behind that, who has introduced the concept, like that should be included in the background information. And the present study should include the a definition of the problem, what is it is all about, and the importance, the significance of study, and the focus should be on the practical implementation, and it should always carry the originality value and the research objectives as well as the broad and specific objectives to be presented in the introduction section, along with the hypothesis framed accordingly. Then it should also contain the scope and limitations of the study. We have also reviewed the section or the chapter which is the literature review. This is the most important chapters because it is the foundation of whatever research you are going to present, and it also discusses about the knowledge of the topic. It will guide you, and it should be integrated and summarized along with the paraphrasing tools, and it should contain the preamble or the body of literature and the conclusion, or you have to summarize the key findings regarding the literature which you have reviewed, and you need to paraphrase it in your own words. Okay, this was the quick recap of yesterday. Now we are into day 2 of national level FDP on writing PhD thesis. So let us start with the big concept of IMRD. Yesterday I have told you regarding IMRD. Now, what is IMRD? IMRD is actually applicable worldwide. Most of the universities or the research scholars globally are following this type of format. This is a very common structure and the organizational framework which is used in scientific as well as academic writing. So you should also be following this type of format. What does it mean? So I stands for introduction, M stands for methods, R stands for results, and D stands for discussion. So, to get the brief idea about what is IMID and how it is to be followed, I have set an example for you so that you can easily relate to it. So, let's dive in. See, IMRD, as the structure indicates, IMRD structure is there: introduction, methods, results, and discussion. These are the guiding questions. And the example which I have taken today is to conduct a research on migrated construction workers' stress in Tamil Nadu. Around 200 migrated in construction workers are being taken for this study. So in my introduction section, when I'm writing a thesis, I will be guided by this question which I need to answer. So in introduction, what did you start? Why did you start? That is the reason for you to provide a basic information and the reason for picking up such kind of project or the PhD thesis. Now in introduction, just like the example, it should explain why the research on the stress experienced by migrated construction workers is necessary, outlining the significance of the issue and the previous research gaps. Okay, for example, migrated construction workers face unique stressors. There may be different reasons due to displacement, due to their location, due to the harsh working conditions. They are not getting paid properly. They are sometimes starving. Yet, very limited research has been explored in this specific mental health challenges. So this was the reason you started conducting your research on the particular topic. Okay. Now, when I say about the methods, what did you do means all the things which you have performed during the conduction of your PhD survey, you need to mention. You need to mention the methods section. This section should detail how the research was conducted. For instance, a mixed method approach was used, either qualitative, quantitative, or whatever method you have used, you need to include that. What should also be included? How you have conducted. Either you have conducted surveys, questionnaires, and interviews. Questionnaires, see, migrated construction workers are mostly illiterate and they are unable to write, so there's no need for questionnaires here. Only the schedules or interviews are enough. So we have conducted interviews with 200 migrated construction workers in Tamil Nadu to assess the stress levels and the contributing factors that you need to mention. Now, the results. What did you find? The result section. This is going to present all the findings which are genuine, which are actually collected by you and analyzed by through the software. Whatever data analysis is been done, and depending on the hypothesis also, your results should be presented. For example, the study found that 75% of migrated workers reported high stress levels, with primary stresses being job insecurity, poor living conditions, and social isolation. This should be the result which is supposed to be included in your study. Now, what remains in the discussion part? What does it all mean? Means in the discussion, you should be able to interpret the findings of your study or your survey, and then their implications. It may be practical implications, or the implications which are social implications. For example, high stress levels among migrated construction workers highlight the need for targeted interventions for better job security and the conditions to mitigate their stress levels. So these are the structure which I have explained regarding IMRD structure. This is supposed to be included in your manuscript as well. The order should be like this only: introduction, methods, results, and discussion. This is an example. This is an easy example which will help you to understand why such studies or the manuscript should be undertaken. Now let's move on to our next section. So for this, when we have started the research,
Excuse me, ma'am.
yes.
Ma'am, can you just hide that message, ma'am? Because some text is not seen.
Okay, just wait.
Sorry to interrupt, ma'am.
Yes, yes, it's okay. Okay, is it okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, fine. I hope my screen is visible and I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am. All fine,
Okay,
ma'am.
fine. Okay. Now, when I say about starting the manuscript, we have already discussed the preliminaries, introduction, and LR section. Now we are into the research problem. This is a flowchart which is very common. This is a basic thing. We have started with a problem, and then we have designed the objectives regarding the problem, and then we have started to collect the data, either primary or secondary data, whatever, and we have also designed the hypothesis, research hypothesis, which we have discussed yesterday. And according to the hypothesis, we have done the testing whether the hypothesis stand true or false, and then according to that we have derived to certain conclusions. Already after conclusion collecting the data, we are doing certain data analysis with certain statistical tool, and also from that we are getting certain interpretation of our data to conclude whatever the findings are, and then in the conclusion section, we are the chapter, we are jotting down the conclusions, and then we are also mentioning the recommendations for future study. So let's understand the research methodology chapter. This is a very important chapter. We have already discussed some part of it in IMRD, but we will be going through this in detail. Now, what is research methodology or research method? This should include so many things. We will be getting the overview of research methodology. So let us understand this. See, research methodology determines how you will answer your research questions, which you have already mentioned in the introduction section. You have already designed certain objectives with which you will be carrying your research. So it should be answered and relevantly in your manuscripts. How you will answer that, you have to decide. Okay. Then what data you collect, what data you will be collecting, that should be included in this section. What information is needed, what data types you will be gathering, what are your variables, all this should be mentioned in this section. Okay. Who or where you will go to collect your data from, because your target audience may be different. See, when I took the example of migrated construction workers, obviously they will be the audience or the participants, so I will be going to them to collect the data. If it had been on academics, the research had been in academics, so I'll be chasing the academicians, teachers, professors, educators in different fields, so that I can collect my data. How to collect the data and analyze it, that should be the question which should be answered in the manuscript. That how you have collected the data, there are different methods to collect the data, and you need to analyze it with the help of a statistical software. Okay. Now let us consider the overview of this research methodology. See, it clearly defines the research problems and objectives. What does it mean? You are supposed to articulate research questions or problems that you need to address. That should be included in research methodology chapter. Now, you need to choose a proper research design. You are supposed to select an appropriate research approach. Either it should be quantitative or qualitative or mixed method. Like just I discussed in IMRD section, what was the method which you used? Okay, based on the nature of your research. That is the question, research question which you have put in the introduction section, and the type of data needed, that should also be mentioned. Now, when I say this, we are supposed to collect the data. There are different type of data collection methods. See, these methods determine and justify that data collection is being done. Methods can be like I discussed just now in IMRD. For data collection from migrant workers, I have used interviews and schedules. You can also go for like questionnaires, or different if it is an experiment type, you can conduct lab experiments or document analysis, ensuring that these methods align with your research design. To collect the data, you can actually go with the questionnaire type. You can collect the data through the basic hard copy of the questionnaire. You can distribute amongst the participants or respondents, and then you can collect. Or either you can do what you can do is to mail the questionnaire. There can be mailing of questionnaires through HRs or through corporates, so that you can get the responses. Many of the scholars, including me, I have also done this. I have also converted my questionnaires into a Google form, and then I have shared the links with the respective respondents or the participants, so that I can get the soft copy of whatever is being um, answered by them. Okay. To conduct data analysis, you have to analyze the collected data using suitable techniques to derive the meaningful insights. Why? Because statistical techniques are being used like SPSS, or there are different softwares like NOR, chi-square test, or t-test, or you can also go for correlation regression and multiple linear regression analysis or structured equation modeling. Whatever suits you, whatever is your criteria, you can go for that. And for this purpose also, many of the scholars are actually heading for a statistician, because many scholars find it very much painful to analyze the data and do the interpretation part. So that is fine if you are hiring a statistician. Now, one of the most important thing is to address the ethical considerations. See, whenever you are conducting a research or a survey, you should be obtaining ethical approval. You should be prioritizing the participant confidentiality, that their information is not shared with the public. Okay, and the welfare, and you should be adhering to the ethical guidelines throughout your research process. You are supposed to do that. Okay, now let us discuss about each and every section which is in research methodology. There are at least 8 to 9 subsections. So let us dive in to next slide. See here, I have drafted at least 8 to 9 subsections of this research methodology. First one, 3.1, is the research design. Now, what does it mean? The research design is a plan, a structure, and a strategy of investigation. The plan is the overall scheme to be followed in conducting the research. This is a more specific outline of how your variables are operationalized. See, the research design may contain some experiments. If you are performing a lab experiment or a quasi experiments, there can be surveys and participants observation. Well, there are certain action research designs also. These are new and modern designs, like correlational designs or survey designs, ethnographic designs. These are being conducted in globally, where they are concerned more about the advanced research design techniques. So whatever suits you, you can do that. Okay, 3.2 is the variables of the study. Obviously, this becomes very important to define your variables. What is a variable? Now, when I say a variable, means the variable is the value which varies, or the numeral whose value varies. It is a symbol to which the numeral values are attached. Okay, it is a symbol, like x is a variable. It is a symbol to which numeral or values are assigned. For example, gender. Gender is a variable. Okay, obviously it will have two values, mainly male and female. Now, there are very common categories of variables which I have mentioned, like independent variables or dependent variables and intervening variables. Now, when I talk about independent variable, it is the presumed cause. Or when I say independent variable, all you need to do is to understand that you can manipulate this in non-experimental research. Independent variables can be presumably be manipulated, but when there are dependent variables as well, because when I say um, employee turnover is a variable, it is a dependent variable. On dependent on what? It depends on the job satisfaction. So job satisfaction becomes independent variable irrespective of the company's employees, and the dependent variable is employee turnover. If the employees are not satisfied, they will be moving out of the company, like that. Another example can be if I'm conducting a study to determine the effects of a television program on the behavior of children. So here in this case, the television program becomes independent variable, and the behavior of children becomes dependent variable. It depends on the television program. So these are the types you need to mention. What are the dependent and interdependent variables? There can be intervening variables or mediating variables, which are used to label internal or unobservable psychological processes that account for a behavior. So these variables are also intermediate variables or mediating variables. These are also very much powerful or useful in your modern data analysis. Now, moving on to the third subsection, that is the respondents of the study. Okay, now let me make you understand that individual respondents or the participants in the survey can be individuals, can be having a group of people, that in case of focused interviews or group interviews, you will be having a bunch of people along with you. And there can be these are called informants, and there can be discussants. That is, in case of focused group discussions, there can be group discussions, so they are usually referred to as units of analysis. Now when I say about the respondents, means it refers to the human participants in the research activities. So respondents nowadays are referred to as the human participants. Earlier, the term subjects has been used, but now it has been used. This the term subjects is being used only to refer the animals, okay, that are used in the research conducted under laboratory conditions. So we are not supposed to call our participants as subjects. Now it has been formally uh, accepted that the participants, especially human participants, are supposed to be called as the respondents. Okay, so here um, they should include so many things, like respondents should be according to your description of the population they represent, their geographical area or socio-economic location, their ethnography, and the demographic positions. That should be actually the type of or choosing them as the respondents of your study. Because the respondents cannot be anyone, like I have discussed in the IMID structure, that the migrated construction workers were your respondents in the particular example which I have taken. So respondents are to be chosen very specifically. Now moving on to the next subsection, that is sampling procedures. Okay, it contains sampling techniques. Sampling techniques, by which I mean, it is like a sample is a part of the population. As you all know, sample is a part of the population which is observed in order to make the inferences about the whole population. So the best example for a sample is, yeah, like you all know, we if we go to the grocery shop and buy the rice. Okay, so what is happening there, the gunny bag contains 25 kgs or a ton of rice. So we are not going to um, test all the type of rice. What we will do, we will just pick handful of rice, and then just we will determine the size, the color, the smell, the flavor of that. That is what is meant by a sample out of the population. So you can use sampling when your research design requires that you collect the information about the sample. There are different types of sampling methods can be used. Okay, so I'll be just explaining the sampling techniques. These are probability sampling, non-probability sampling. So let's understand one by one. When I say probability sampling, I can refer to it as a simple random sampling. So this is a very easy technique of selecting, say, the number of individuals out of n, the total population, such that everyone has the equal chance of being selected. So that is a simple random sampling. Also, there's a systematic random sampling. These are probability sampling. It starts by numbering consecutively all the individuals in the population. The first sample is selected through random simple sampling. Then the succeeding samples are chosen at pre-established intervals. So these are the types of probability sampling. Again, there's a one very common type that is called stratified sampling. Is applicable when the population is non-homogeneous, means the population is not the same. So when you are doing stratified sampling, you are dividing the population into some small homogeneous groups. These are called strata, and then you are drawing samples by this simple random sampling method. This is called stratified sampling. So if you want, we will be having different session on this probability and non-probability sampling techniques. Okay, just for your information, I'm giving there's one more sampling technique that is called cluster sampling. This is one stage sampling technique. You can also have multi-stage sampling techniques. Okay, and when I say about non-probability, obviously this is a very common technique, like judgmental sampling. It is a process by which you select a representative sample according to your subjective judgment. According to your judgment, you are simply collecting the sample. And another term is also mentioned in non-probability sampling, like quota sampling. Everyone has heard of this quota sampling. This is a variation of judgmental sampling, but it provides more explicit instructions to on how to select, who to select. Like for example, I will give if we are actually applying for a job uh, application, there you are supposed to select the category to which you belong to. Like if you belong to open category or OBC or SC, ST, NT, so there are certain quota which has been assigned to these categories. Say for example, in open category you have 20 seats, in OBC you have 12, in SC and ST you will have 8 categories. So what is happening here? They have assigned certain quota to these categories. So this technique is very economical and simple. That is quota sampling. Now let's move on to sample size. We are into sampling procedures 3.4. Okay. Now when I say about sample size, there are different types of sampling techniques which are commonly used, or you can find certain calculations or formula, simple formula, proportional sampling for determining the sample of your population. So you can apply the formula n1 equals to capital N1 upon capital N into N. Like there are different types of formulae that you can use to determine the sample size. Now, let's move on to 3.5, the research instruments. That is a very important part of research methodology, that which type of research instruments you will go use to determine or to collect your data. Most social science researchers make use of two type of research instruments to gather data. These are questionnaires and interview schedules. So I'll just give you a brief example because it is very difficult to conduct the whole thing about the questionnaire and interview. It needs another session. So I will be just explaining you regarding the questionnaire that can be designed according to your according to your data which you need to collect. You are also supposed to do the pilot study after designing the questionnaire, whether it is going to be good, or you are supposed to not to miss any of the data. So questionnaire should be designed very effectively, and it should contain the socio demographic characters of the participants, as well as the scale which is being used to collect the data. Like Likert scale, also you can use 5-point Likert scale or 8-point Likert scale, like strongly, agree, then agree, neutral, disagree, and strongly disagree. That can be converted into numerals, and in the software we can put this collected data, and we will be determining the analysis. Now, when I say interview schedule, obviously it means the interview. Like in case of migrant workers, we have conducted the interview because they are unable to read and write. So interview schedule is a very good technique to ask the questions and jot down their answers. Now, moving on to 3.6, that is procedures for data collection. Like I already told you regarding the questionnaire, you can actually distribute the physical questionnaire hard copies to the respondents, or you can mail the questionnaire, or you can also collect it through Google Form. There are various type of forms which can be used. When I say about the data analysis 3.7, procedures for data analysis. So here there are certain statistical techniques which you are going to perform on the collected data. So there can be many techniques regarding this, regarding the data collection techniques. Here these techniques can be quantitative or qualitative techniques. There are certain softwares like SPSS, statistical package for social sciences. There can be different types of techniques for collecting the data and analyzing, that is converted into MS Excel and SAV form, like CSV form, and then you can use that uh, technique to get the interpretation of your data, analyze the data and get it interpreted. Now, when we say that, there's also uh, a check on reliability and validity instruments. There are certain tests for reliability, like Cronzman alpha value should be point 5, under point 5. Like you are supposed to carry on the discriminant validity tests are there. So you are supposed to do all that things and mention it in the research methodology chapter, that you are going to perform that. Again, you are supposed to mention the results of pilot study or the whole study. That depends on you what you want to perform. So I hope this research methodology chapter is clear, because in the manuscript we are supposed to write these subsections and make sure that you are writing in the paragraphs. Don't make a very long paragraph. You are supposed to do the subsections of these in the research methodology chapter. Now, let's move on. Yes, here is how to draft the conclusion. How to draft the conclusion, that is the main thing. Apart from research methodology chapter, we are supposed to mention the result and the discussion part. That is a very common thing, that whatever results you have got from the data analysis, you are supposed to interpret that result and you are supposed to discuss that. But in conclusion, how we are supposed to draft that, we are not going to repeat whatever we have already written in the result section, okay, or in the discussion section. If you have done the analysis of the table or the chart or the figure, you have already discussed that in the discussion section. This should be avoided in the conclusion section. What I mean to say, that repetition should be avoided in conclusion section. So what does conclusion section or the chapter will include? Okay, so let's understand that. Here in the conclusion, while drafting the conclusion, you should be able to summarize the key findings. Whatever findings or the important findings, you are supposed to highlight the main results. Okay, you are supposed to highlight the main results, summarize them without going into the detailed interpretation, because we have already mentioned these things in the discussion section or the result section. So you are supposed to make relevant conclusion statement. Don't reiterate or reinstate. Okay, just you are supposed to jot down the importance of the study, whatever contribution you have made to the field, highlighting the broader impact, and based on your objectives, whatever is the significant objective you have actually attained, because your thesis started with the research objectives. Okay, so are supposed to highlight that based on my objectives, this is this conclusion I have made. Also, the results should include the testing of hypothesis, because based on the objectives we have made certain hypotheses which are true and or which is supposed to be false. So like we have also designed the hypothesis there is no significant relationship between EQ of males and females, like that. I have given the example yesterday. So depending on your result of hypothesis testing, that should be included in the conclusion chapter. Okay, again, based on the results or findings of your study, you are supposed to gather the scope and the limitations of your study as well, because here acknowledging your limitations or the future research scope, that should be included. Proper closure, final thoughts and overall remarks should be there in the conclusion chapter. Wrapping up the study is very important. Yeah, I need to mention that I have observed many scholars who have the tendency to include their conclusion statements, especially in drafting the manuscripts. The conclusion statements are obviously very good sounding, but they do not actually have the basis means they do not actually relate to the your objectives, thesis objectives, or your research hypothesis. So what is the meaning to include those good sounding conclusions which are not related? This is a very serious error. So how do you make sure that you are making relevant conclusion statements? See, for this there are two ways of approaching this. One, your conclusion may be based on your research objective. So always keep the research objective file or word file which you have, which I've already told you are supposed to make folder of each and every chapter. So when you open that introduction chapter where your research objectives are written, so you just analyze it and you make the concluding statements according to your thesis objectives. Again, one more thing is there, if you are making a conclusion, it may be a result of testing the hypothesis you set out to test. So what you are supposed to do, you just go back and just analyze whatever hypothesis was there, and then you are supposed to present the conclusion. It is see, it is very best to present your conclusion on one-on-one correspondence with your objectives and hypothesis. The means, I mean to say, when you have written the objectives, what you have numbered that 1 2 3 4 5. Suppose you have your research manuscript has 5 to 6 objectives, so you are supposed to write the conclusion on one basis. Means the first objective was met or not, that should be included in your conclusion part. And secondly, the hypothesis, whatever hypothesis you are testing, whether it has been met or not, that should be included in your chapter. Means based on your results or findings of your study, the conclusion should be reflected. Okay, because it gives the viewer a very good idea, because no one is going to read the whole manuscript of 300 500 pages. What they do generally, we also go to the title first, and then we read the abstract, and then we go to the conclusion part, whatever is been found after conducting the study. So drafting the conclusion is a tricky part, but you are supposed to make a good reflection based on your research objectives and hypothesis tested. Okay, so we have done this drafting the conclusion part, that is the last part of your um, manuscript writing. That is the last chapter of your manuscript writing. Okay. And then you can add references, bibliography, whatever literature you have reviewed, that you can add according to the reference manager, like Mendeley, Zotero. And that is a different session on Mendeley, Zotero, and Note. Whatever Mendeley, whatever reference manager you are supposed to use, you can do that. You can write the in-text citation in the manuscript and the references, because you are supposed to actually cite, because if you are not citing, you are falling into plagiarism. So this is a very big part. You are supposed to avoid the plagiarism. How you can do that? You can do that by actually uh, concluding or by using simple ways to avoid plagiarism. So what I mean to say, you are supposed to cite the sources properly, means you are supposed to provide accurate citations for any ideas or any sources or codes or data that you have borrowed from other sources, because it is a good practice and it will not be counted as plagiarism. Again, you are not supposed to copy and paste the same things which have already been written by other author. You are supposed to paraphrase it, you are supposed to summarize it carefully, and you can reflect on the original idea, but you need to rephrase it accordingly. Okay. And if you want that the same idea or the same phrase to be used in your manuscript, what you can do, you can use the quotations. You are supposed to use the quotations, double quotes correctly when you are directly using someone else works. Okay. Or someone else original idea, you are supposed to quote them in the quotation mark and cite the source. So that is the best way to avoid plagiarism, because this is not your idea, the original idea was someone else. Okay. Again, you one more thing is, you have to develop your own analysis and voice, because when you incorporate your own analysis, your own interpretation and insights in your writing, it gives more authenticity. Okay. It becomes more relevant, and the quality of good work is being reflected. Original work should be reflected. Okay. Now, uh, this is the part which is most important part, which I feel. Mm, See, as a researcher, you can start your journey to write the manuscript. But as I said, this is the biggest part, or the dissertation is the longest evidence of your research or report. So you are supposed to start writing from today. But when you do not have the proper direction, you will be perplexed or skeptical about how to write, what to write, how to start it. It can be intimidating, it can be frustrating. So the best thing which I would propose is to have a model thesis with you. Okay. Now, model thesis, what does it mean? I mean to say that model thesis is the type of PhD work which has been already done beforehand by someone in your domain, in your area of interest. So you can find out some of the keywords of your say domain, and then you can go and search the thesis, where you will get n number of theses in your domain according to the authors, or according to the keywords or the topic or the year. You can find it in many of the, nowadays internet is available, you can find it. But what I would suggest is where to find the model thesis. So let's consider this. Okay. So in last 10 to 15 minutes we will be discussing about this. This is Shodh Ganga. Okay. A reservoir of Indian thesis. See, this is actually a very good uh, source of information. What I would rather say, this is a Indian digital repository of theses and dissertations which are submitted to Indian universities. See, this is aligned, or this is having MOUs, Memorandum of Understanding, with different Indian universities. Okay. So now what I mean to say here, in the right, you can say Indian Electronic Thesis and Dissertation in FlimNet. Okay. Where these are actually maintained by InflimNet Center, which is an autonomous inter-university center of UGC Commission of India. Okay, University Grants Commission of India is maintaining that. Here in home about us research, search and prod, we'll be going to the practical this thing, workshop on this hands on. Just I want you to mm, pay attention to the top 20 subjects in Shodh Ganga. Here, engineering, psychology, chemistry, political science, education, biotechnology, management. There are different subjects, and the theses are added every year. In March, it is been added. And when I was talking about the language of the manuscript, I have mentioned that you can write it in any language like English, Hindi, Marathi, Bengali, Tamil, Sanskrit, but most of the scientific and technical and law or pharmaceutical theses are to be written in English language only. Okay, so this is from my side, from the PPT. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, you can email me, or I have my mobile number. But just a minute, I will be going to go through the part which is just a minute. I'll close this PPT. We'll be going for some practical thing. Okay. Now let's go to Goo- Google Chrome. See, on Google Chrome. Okay, I'm closing this. On Google Chrome, I hope my screen is visible. On Google Chrome, you can type Shodh Ganga. Okay, the thing which I wanted to show you. Shodh Ganga thesis or Shodh Ganga, whatever you can type, Shodh Ganga. So the first link which appears on the screen is Shodh Ganga. Shodh Ganga, a reservoir of Indian thesis at Inflimed. So you are supposed to click on that. See, it doesn't require any registration. It is free of cost. It is available by government, and it is the reservoir of Indian thesis. Like I told you, this is the it is having so many universities or institutions which are contributing towards the research. So see, this screen is different. Why? Because I've just not taken the screenshot from Shodh Ganga itself 2 days back, but now you can see that Shodh Ganga is celebrating the uploading of 6 lakh thesis into Shodh Ganga repository. So this was the inauguration ceremony, and it was on the 7th of May. And here she is the Honorable Director of Implement, Professor Devika. And this was the inauguration ceremonies snapshots which they have taken. Okay, here this is also going that Shodh Ganga has crossed the remarkable milestone of 6 lakhs theses. Okay, so this is a very good source to download your thesis. This is about Shodh Ganga, a reservoir of Indian thesis. And if you go down, you can actually scroll to there are top 10 university contributors under university. See, we have SPPU, Savitribai Phule University, Aligarh University. Top universities are there who are making a consistent contribution for that. So I will be just going you to let you know about Shodh Ganga. There's no need for registration. These are the dissertations and theses which are a rich source of information according to your domain. You can download these. These are free of cost also. You can go through that. Because I'll not be explaining this, it will take another session. What I want you to understand is why you are supposed to join Shodh Ganga. In case if you want to register, you are supposed to do that when you are uploading your thesis. Only in that case you need to register. Otherwise, without registration also you can download the thesis. Here you can search and browse according to the university which I have mentioned, according to the department, according to the date, latest one, according to the researchers, lecturers or the supervisors according to title, keyword. You can download that. You can have this notifications from UGC or MOE or Ministry of Education, like that. What is the main important part for us as research scholars is the guide and tutorials. Here you can go and visit how to use that guide. I will just click it. Here is the user guide. You can flip that. You can get the information where what is mentioned. Okay, will not be going into the detail of this guide. I'm closing that. What I'm supposed to do that, just you can go through FAQs also, how you are supposed to use that guide, how to submit your thesis when it is complete, how to conduct convert PDFs or site. What I want you to know is you have thesis template also. This is a generalized thesis template. You can download it as well. Just I will show you. See, this is the 12 pages thesis template, what I have discussed yesterday regarding the title of thesis. This is the title, this should be in capital. Thesis is submitted to, this is a submission statement, award of what, doctorate of philosophy in the department by your name, yeah, the name of your research supervisor, the department, and everything. So this is the declaration statement. See, I have already told you regarding the certificate, regarding the abstract or summary, the preface and table of contents. There are 12. A list of figures also, list of illustrations, appendices, and the chapterization. You can download the template from here if you want to, but I would suggest you to go to your university or your PhD cell guidelines, so that you can have their particular template. Now, these are two important things which I want you to consider: other Indian ETDs and world ETDs. So we will go to other Indian ETDs, means electronic thesis and dissertations. Just in 10 minutes, I'll be explaining this. See, other Indian ETDs or repositories at Shodh Ganga, it contains different type of universities. See, this is Mahatma Gandhi University, is an open access online ETD. It is a library, Indian Institute of Science. E-thesis from Saurashtra University. So there are a few universities where they have collected the electronic library apart from Shodh Ganga. So you can also visit that and just get your model thesis downloaded. Another thing which I want you to pay attention is regarding the world ETD. See, in guide and tutorial, you just go to the last section of world ETDs. So whatever is available globally, it is presented over here. There are so many repositories outside India at Shodh Ganga also. So this is ND LTD. I will just be going to that. You can just go through this description. NDLTD means the Networked Digital Library of Thesis and Dissertation. It is an international organization by UK. Okay, when I go and click this, you will be getting to the URL of this ETDs. It is having 63 lakhs, over 63 lakhs of ETDs. Okay, another one is OATD, that is Open Access Thesis and Dissertations. It is available worldwide and it is having about 63 lakhs theses. Uh, One of the good ETDs which I would suggest is ProQuest. ProQuest is having dissertation and theses which are available globally. It is having 3 million full text dissertation and theses. Like it belongs to USA, and you can get 5 million citations also and 3 million full text works. So I have also gone through this. You will easily able to download, and it is free of cost. Again, that is there from European countries. It is having more than 12 lakh dissertations. There can here you can find the bifurcation according to the European country, like Austria, Belgium, Croatia, like that, Denmark, Italy, France, like that. You can download that. Ethos is a British library of doctoral thesis, and Open Door is there from UK. archive is there from New York, United States. There are different types of repositories. Emory University, it is from Atlanta, Georgia, and University of Oregon. These are actually having the repositories which are free of cost. Okay. Now, what I want you to understand, we will go to NDLTD. This is the first one which I want you to understand. NDLTD. Just click on the URL. See, you will be led to that. This is free of cost. The networked digital library of thesis and dissertations. Here, you can see the drop down membership, this and that. Here, you will be searching ETD search, like thesis resources, find ETDs. When I click on that, just pay attention that when I click on that, this is of our use. Otherwise, also you can go through the whole website. This is of our use. We are supposed to find electronic theses and database. So I'm clicking on this. Okay. Now here you're supposed to see that according to the country it has been arranged. According to the country or the region, this has been arranged, and this is the name of the resource or the URL. Okay. Armenia, this is open access repository. Australia, it is called Rove. In Belgium, it is called BitTel. And here Brazil, this is another biblioteca. Canada, Thesis Canada, and Finland, Thesis Finland. We are having different names. France, Thesis France, Germany. And what I want you to pay attention over here is in India, we have this Shodh Ganga. It is also mentioned. So this is the networked digital library of thesis and dissertation. So this is international, is Google Scholar. You can go through that also as well. Okay. So this is the thing which I wanted you to know. And you can always go and find out your thing, and you can get it downloaded. Okay. Another thing is, I'll go to ProQuest. Okay. This I will go to ProQuest. I'll let you know how to download it. Okay. Here, when I go to proquest.com, this is the URL. This is free to use. This you can and log in through your library, means your university's library. Otherwise also you can get it free of cost. There's no registration required as such. Okay. Here scholarly journals, books, audio videos are there, but we are interested into thesis and dissertations. So what we will be searching here, you need to define the keywords. Okay. The according to your area of interest. Suppose I am typing a keyword of sustainable development goals. Let us see how much theses are being conducted on this keyword. Let us see. See, there are 18,000 results. Above 18,000 results. Okay. And on the left hand side, you can apply the filters as well on dissertation, sorted by relevance, then according to the publication date, latest one, this and that. You can go that, go and find that. Here, what I mean, to you to understand that we can download the full text and open dissertation. This is a free of cost dissertation which we are supposed to download as a model thesis. Okay. Yesterday I have also shown you one model thesis. I'll be showing you how to download this. Now when I click on this, say the first one itself, because I think this is good. It is published in 2024. This is the latest one by Texas and A&M University, Corpus Christi, ProQuest, dissertations and prizes. So what I mean to you to understand is, depending on your keyword research or your area of interest, you are supposed to download a model thesis. This is strengthening school community partnerships to align the United Nations 17 sustainable goals and the project based learning, a dissertation in practice. So let us click on that, what it gives. See, this is the full text dissertation. Okay, this is the full text. See here, this university is actually offering this full text here, you can download this also, you can print this also. And mind it, this is having only 163 pages. Here in India we are supposed to write 300 500 pages, but there the dissertation may contain less than 200 pages. It is acceptable and it is being published as well. So this is a good area. You can download the PDF also, you can copy the link and you can cite it also. So you can go through this the way which I have shown yesterday regarding the title of the dissertation should be there, how the title should be in capital, it is in inverted pyramid, a dissertation by the name of the person Claudia to submitted to the University of Texas Pan America, like that it has been submitted in the partial fulfillment of the requirement of degree of doctorate of education, whatever is the format, this is done. But we are interested in the main thing about the content or the introduction. See, you can see the abstract, the you can read and go through the chapterization, and then you can relate it to your model thesis. So you can download this as well from your in your PC. At least you should have 8 to 10 model thesis, so that you can compare and start writing your own thesis. Okay, so this was the main idea behind getting this done. You can also go and refer to different type of uh, these are the repositories, British one, European ones, open door is there. There are many repositories. Otherwise you can always stick to Shodh Ganga. Because why? Because it is our own Indian repositories, and we are supposed to actually refer to that first, because in world's ETDC they are having advanced projects and advanced statistical techniques. So if in case if you just want to start as a beginner, so always refer to Shodh Ganga. So you can go here and you can always find and download the thing if you want to. Okay, so this was the thing. Here according to the title also you can download, according to the keyword also you can download, according to the handle number also you can download. What is meant by handle number? It is just like DOI. In case of our research papers we have DOI, that is digital object identifier. So same is the case here. A handle number is unique and it is being given to or allotted to the different theses. Okay, here I want you to understand that there are certain theses. See, synopsis are above 61 synopsis, 6 lakhs thesis. So this is enough for us to find out. These are the contributing universities, and the MOUs are signed around 1000 universities and departments. So you can go and download. So handle numbers, just I wanted to show. Yesterday I have shown you one a typical model thesis effect of talent management on turnover intentions. See, I have gone through this title page. Do you remember? Yesterday we have gone through this title page, effect of talent management practices on turnover intentions, study among Indian IT professionals. So what I want you to, these are the pages, preliminary pages, introduction, chapter of review and research methodology, analysis findings. What I want you to understand is the handle number. Just for your sake and to save time, I have actually pasted this handle number here. This is the identifier where to cite and link this item to. So this is the handle number. When I click on that, this is the handle number of that particular thesis. When I click on that, I will just do that. I will click on that. Okay, so it will take me to Shodh Ganga, from where I have actually downloaded this. See, can you see this? This is the citation detail of that particular thesis, effect of talent management practices on turnover intention, a study among Indian professionals, which I have shown you. This is the name of the researcher, name of the supervisor, the year in which it has been completed, and the department name, the university name, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeeth University, and created and maintained by Implement Center. So this is a licensed one. It is having non-commercial uh, Creative Commons license and attribution, we can do that. And when I cross this, see, it is the downloaded one. You can do the citation using test and on. And what I want you to understand that apart from this, if you want to just download your model thesis, you are supposed to type this handle number, and you are in if you scroll down, you will be getting this abstract. Just you go through the abstract. If it is useful to you, you can download this. Okay. So there are different type of files in this item. See, this is the title page which I have downloaded. It is free of cost. You can view it, and if it is of your interest, you can download it. This is the certificate preliminary pages. This is chapter 1, that is of introduction, LR, research methodology, analysis, results and discussion, then conclusion. This is the bibliometry and the appendices and different type of publications and recommendations. So you can very well download this. This is free of cost for you, and this is the best thing to start with your manuscript writing, PhD thesis writing journey. So this is all from my side. Okay, I will be stop sharing this. If you have any questions, you can ask me.